Alright, so let's get back into it. Presenting the self, communication as impression management, face-to-face impression management. So, there's three things that break this down. Your manner, so how you act, your appearance, so how you dress, maybe how you do your hair, your makeup, and then the setting. Setting is not exactly what you would think it would mean. Setting is the physical items we surround ourselves with to influence how others view us. So a lot of a very Americanized version of this is having a fancy car. So a lot of lawyers actually don't actually make as much money as you think they do, but they will get a fancy car to improve their image or make an impression on people saying, hey, I'm a professional, I am, wealthy, even if they're not so much. A lot of them will have extra bills because of this, but they want to make the impression that they're important and that they have money, because money a lot of times equals importance and maybe even success. And if you're a successful lawyer, you'll get more clients. And then you can also, this setting could also be having designer labels, so wearing clothes that are designer labels and to look more important and look more rich or fancy. And then online impression management, this goes back into chapter 2 where we post things that we want people to believe about us. So posting memes if you want people to think you're funny, or posting, if you want people to think you're exciting and adventurous, you might post a lot of pics of you traveling. And maybe if you hike, even if it's once, but you want people to think you hike a lot, you take this hike up a mountain and then you have someone take a picture of you on this top of this mountain or this cliff, and you want people to think you're adventurous, so you take pictures like that and you post pictures like that. And then impression management and honesty. This doesn't always go hand in hand, of course, but a lot of times when you manage your impression, you're not always honest about your true self, which isn't always a bad thing, especially when you're trying to do online things and you don't want to post something that would be inappropriate for a future employer to see. That is when impression management and honesty kind of don't coincide as much. So models of self-disclosure. So self-disclosure in relationships is pretty much how much of your personal life and your personal secret self-concept that you let other people know. So first, there's a social penetration model, which is about breadth, and depth. So breadth being the range of subjects being discussed. So how many subjects you're willing to divulge in that relationship. So, while you might be willing to talk about your hobbies and get into that personal level, you might not be so comfortable talking about religion or your political beliefs. And then depth is the second part, or the second dimension, if you will. And that is going to shift from relatively impersonal things about yourself to more personal ones. So an impersonal thing about you might be more of your favorite color. And then a more personal subject might be your beliefs, your religious beliefs, or your political beliefs. Something that you hold closer to you and only certain people know about you. Again, you might be hearing my cat meow because she wants attention. And then there's the models of self-disclosure called the Johari window. So this is the box. They're broken up into 4 parts. And I had to actually take notes on this because I wanted to give you guys the full description. So here's the model that they show you of the last block in the book, which is open, blind, hidden, and unknown. So it's a really good description because it goes how, like, blind is known to others but not known to self. And then open is known to self and known to others. So yeah, the part 1 is your open area. The stuff that represents the info that which you know and the other person are aware. So the open area. The blind area is known to others but not known to yourself. So how others perceive you. So the feedback that others may give you, but you're not really sure about yourself. And then part 3 is the hidden area, not known to others, but you know yourself. So the parts of you that you keep hidden, the parts of you that you're not really willing to reveal to others. And then the unknown. So it's not known to you and it's not known to others. So this is the part where it gets into kind of obscure theory, kind of like Schrodinger's cat, where a cat is put into a box, and because it's in the box, you don't know if at any moment it could be alive or dead, so it could be both at the same time. This is kind of this section of unknown, where we know it exists, but we're not sure at what level. So part 4 is the info that's unknown to both you and others. That's the parts that you haven't discovered about yourself, because you're always discovering new things about yourself. I'm sure maybe there's a part later on in life once you pretty much hit the brink of knowing more things about yourself, but maybe there's not. So you're always learning more things and discovering new things about your personality and your hidden talents, because a lot of people have some hidden talents that they don't even know about until they try it. You could be a good juggler and you just don't know it yet. So the unknown section. So self-disclosure and relationships. Obviously, there's benefits and risks, just like everything. So the benefits, catharsis, letting things off your shoulders, and it's kind of like a healing process. Reciprocity is kind of that hope that if you reveal this, others will relate to it and be able to have that reciprocity. Self-clarification to, hey, I'm revealing this about myself so that you understand why I'm reacting this way. Self-validation, that's pretty self-explanatory. You want to be validated and feel validated for this personal thing that you are disclosing. So I think an example of this is like, I think I did the right thing because building and maintaining relationships. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Social influence. So this goes into the idea that I'm giving you this information about myself because I want to influence you to do things. So you might not ever think about telling about maybe your journey with cancer because that's really personal to you, or your personal experiences with bullying. You might not want to reveal that either because that's really personal, something you don't usually disclose, but you think it might influence others and maybe help others as well. So you get that social influence to get these things and people to be socially aware of these things. So social influence. You might then become the head person of it, the face of it, if you will. The risks of self-disclosure: rejection, negative impression, decrease in relational satisfaction, loss of influence, and hurting the other person. So a lot of times, sometimes the benefits can backfire on you, just like most anything. So while you could get catharsis from it, you could also be rejected. And while it might build and maintain your relationship, it might also hurt the other person or decrease in relational satisfaction. So there's always the opposite of it. So these are the guidelines of self-disclosure. But I don't want to really go into that. I just want to finish this off, which is the last one. Alternatives to self-disclosure. Silence. So just keeping it inside, not letting anybody know what you're feeling or what you're thinking. Lying, but not lying as in, I'm just not gonna, tell the truth, like a really negative, bad lie, but more of something you consider a benevolent lie. So a benevolent lie to the teller themselves, the person who's telling this benevolent lie, they think it's an unmalicious or even helpful to the person to whom it is told. So I'm telling this lie because I'm trying not to hurt them. So for a really random, well, not a random example, but an overused example is if a girlfriend is asking you, hey honey, does this dress make me look fat? Maybe a benevolent lie could be considered, no honey, of course it doesn't make you look fat. So not disclosing certain things. Equivocating. Neither a false message or a clear truth. So it's kind of going in the in-between, that gray area between a lie and the truth. I like to call this some of you guys might not understand this joke, but it's like the Southern grandmother thing, where you say something that is you're trying to tell someone this, not hinting per se, but hiding something negative under something nice. For instance, if you're trying not to, if someone's asking you how they look or what they think of the clothing you're wearing, instead of saying, oh, I don't think that's gonna turn out really well, I don't think that that's going to do something that's positive for you, you could say something like, well, it's definitely a unique choice. And sometimes your tone and sometimes just the way you say it's like, oh, do I want to be unique in this situation? Or you'll turn heads. Okay, do I want to turn heads in this situation? Sometimes people will get that without the actual hinting. It's saying something nice, but kind of with a hidden truth in the background. So not lying, but not telling the complete truth either. And then hinting. Hinting is more straightforward, like you want to get this desired response. So another overused example might be a girlfriend wanting a certain gift, or even a kid wanting a certain gift, so they leave the picture of it for months ahead of time before the birthday or before Christmas, and kind of sneak the picture of it, like a video game in a magazine or whatever, or print off from the internet, saying, hint, hint, I want this. This is what I want. Or a girlfriend, you're walking in a mall and the girlfriend's like, oh, that necklace is so beautiful. I would love to have a necklace like that someday. That could be a really big hint. And then the ethics of evasion. That is that last paragraph when it's asking the question, are hints and benevolent lies and equivocations ethical alternatives to self-disclosure? So answering that question. Is it ethical? Is it not ethical? That is the last of this video. If you guys have been looking ahead and you see, hey, this was a changed assignment, even in part 1 I hadn't changed it yet, because I noticed that the link for that activity that I posted before doesn't work. It's being really weird. So I decided just to have you answer those questions in that first paragraph about describing yourself on page 62, and then I took those questions and I posted them here. So describing who you are, your characteristics, and how you would describe yourself via these. And also, I suggest that you even put them in level of importance. So if you find that your self-identity, the most important thing to your self-identity is your social traits, like how, if you're friendly or shy or energetic, or the talents that you have, then maybe put that at the top of the list, and just so that you can kind of order the importance of how you think. And that will actually give you an idea of, oh wow, I find this really important about myself. So that is the last of it. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.